Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to talk about virtual arbitration and virtual hearing and my experience very recently with it. With the COVID-19 pandemic happening, most of the arbitration practitioners have been contemplating alternative manner in which dispute resolution can be done, where we cannot undertake physical hearing. And I have realized that virtual hearings can actually be a very good alternative for it. There are only specific pointers that one has to keep in mind, specifically when you are choosing your technology support partner as far as virtual hearing is concerned. Interestingly, there are many platforms that one could explore as far as virtual hearing is concerned. A lot of people still stuck with Zoom, which it seems has some data security issues with them. However, the arbitration that I very recently conducted, which was last week only, we had availed the services of a third-party support service provider, which is called a Center for Online Dispute Resolution. The details and the link is mentioned here in the comments section below. You can always go to their website and understand. So our hearing was first scheduled in March when the lockdown happened, and then it was postponed by a month, and the lockdown was still going on. The Honorable Presiding Arbitrator then directed that we should look at virtual hearing as an option, and we explored it. Center for Online Dispute Resolution was recommended by a friend, and we got in touch with them, and they took us through the entire procedure as to how the process takes place. It is always seen that one is always a little hesitant with technology, especially how one would go about, and I feel that not just the arbitrators but also the counsels have that inhibition in them, even the clients have that inhibition in them. And one would always imagine that maybe because it is a technological intervention that is coming across, most probably the cost price will also be high. To our surprise, it was not at all high. It was actually probably lesser than what one would have as far as physical hearing is concerned. And interestingly, there was a lot of technological support which was provided. There was no added infrastructure requirement. They ensured that not just the counsels but the presiding arbitrator and the members of the arbitral tribunal, all of them were given a training session where they were taken through how the platform would work, and CODR representatives and their officers were extremely cordial and very supportive. I think one of the major reasons that online dispute resolution would be something that we will be looking forward to specifically in days to come, not just with COVID, but also I feel that it is extremely time saving as well. Why? Because anything which would have ideally taken about 2-3 hours for even a procedural hearing to happen took just about 30 minutes odd, and we were able to finish our entire procedural hearing within 30 minutes. So the first and the most important point is with respect to technical abilities of the participant. It is always seen that not everybody is very tech savvy, and there is always this initial hesitance that one has with respect to adopting technology. However, with the third party service provider CODR that we had engaged, they provided us with an entire support, and every one of the participants were taught about how the entire function of CODR platform would work. We were also taken through how documents could be shared, how breakout rooms could be made, and also how hearing rooms could be would be there, and how hearing would be conducted. The second most important point that I feel is with respect to video and audio quality, and also an internet service provider who should provide you uninterrupted internet service. Because we've seen that typically if there is any fluctuation that happens as far as internet is concerned, everything freezes and one is trying to make a submission, but that does not really reach its conclusion. As a result of which, one is trying to get back into the conversation and the hearing, and that kind of wastes a lot of time. Having a better audio system also, or especially the mic, is very, very important, because a lot of times I've seen that one can barely hear what the other person is saying or the submissions that are being made, as a result of which you end up wasting a lot of time. That I feel is the second most important thing. The third point that I felt was that the platform or the third party service provider that you engage should give you the option of not just hearing room but also of breakout rooms. Now breakout rooms are very important. You cannot basically be taking instructions from your client over WhatsApp and asking, okay, what is it that I should be doing. If you have the option of a breakout room, so then primarily maybe claimants have their own breakout rooms, the tribunal members can have their own breakout room, as well as the defendants can have their own breakout room. Now that gives you an option of talking directly with the client and taking instructions in a real time manner. So I feel CODR did a very excellent job as far as that went. The registrar had created a hearing room which was dedicated for us, and also there were different breakout rooms which were created. Now other important factors that you have to ensure is also with respect to notices being sent and acknowledgements coming in. With our matter there was a little bit of a problem because the postal services were not working, and getting a notice to reach and to ensure that the other side would enter appearance was a little tricky. So when the registrar basically of CODR ensured that this notices were served, that there was a communication channel which was open, that they ensured that the training was provided to the defendant counsels as well as the defendant clients, and they ensured also the fact that at 5 o'clock or whatever time that it was supposed to happen, they had ensured that all the coordination was done between different parties. So as a counsel for claimant who was supposed to be who was directed that you should be setting up the entire virtual hearing platform or coordinating between the different parties, my work as a counsel was limited. So I only had to focus upon my work as far as representing my client was concerned, and not really looking at the nitty-gritties of calling up people and ensuring that their presence was there. Also one would require a stenographer, a transcription service. You would also there is a possibility that you might require recording services also. So all of these services a third party service provider should be providing you. A stenographer, a secretarial service if you would require. Typically whenever you are looking at engaging a third party service provider, it is pertinent that you notice that all of these services are being provided by them. With our experience with CODR, we realized that it was completely cost effective. It was totally at the same rate as is there in the physical hearing process. So I feel that was another reason that online virtual hearing mode really became very beneficial as far as the client's cost points were concerned. Then housekeeping rules were also announced by CODR. They ensured that certain specific housekeeping rules which were to pertain with our specific matter were there. They did not participate in terms of while the hearing was going on, and if we needed any support from them, they were present. However, they were not participating in the virtual hearing which was happening. So the confidentiality and data security and a hearing which should happen only in a physical, in how it would have happened as a physical hearing, with the confidentiality ensured, it was exactly the same manner. Only the stenographer was present and rest of the CODR people were available, but only if we would have asked them to join in terms of our technological support that we would have. Now there is a very interesting guide, a practical guide which has been released by Maharashtra NLU, and they have talked about what all important points you have to bear in mind, how the functionality of a virtual hearing would be, what are the technological support that you can look at before choosing a third party service provider. I'm going to be leaving that link also in the video, and I hope you'll find it effective as well. I believe that one should definitely refer to it because it gives you a very good understanding. It's extremely thorough also in terms of providing you with all the pointers which are important. So I hope you like this video. If there are any queries related to virtual hearing, you can always write to me or leave it in the comment box below. You take care of yourself and have a wonderful week ahead. Do like my videos and share them, and like my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.